If you're tired, lack focus, and wish you could have energy throughout the day, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how you can create a productive morning routine, even if it's the last thing you want to do. I'm going to give you some top tips on how to start it and create it into a long-lasting habit. I'm Lara and I can help you live healthy, happy and free. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every single time I post a video each week. Say something very quickly about this video. I'm talking about my morning routine, and this is a habit that has taken me the last 4 years to refine. So I want to talk about this as a habit that you can create over time. We're going for progress, not perfection here. If there's some days that it doesn't work out for you, that's totally cool. And if there's some days that you get interrupted or that you only manage to grab about 10 minutes, again, that's totally cool. See this as something that you progress over time. Okay, let's tackle the first point. Why on earth would you want to get up earlier anyway? So this was exactly the question I had when I first heard about Hal Elrod's miracle morning. And he was talking about getting up earlier than the rest of your household. So if you've got kids, that's before your kids. If you've got a family, that's before the rest of your family. And I just thought, why on earth would you want to do it? Now the research is absolutely clear. It increases your focus because you're not running around in a mad panic every morning. You get time to yourself, so it lowers your stress, it lowers your anxiety, and it lowers the amount that you worry. And in the long run, it helps to increase your productivity. So there are so many reasons, really, why getting up earlier in the morning is going to really help you. So once you've overcome that first hurdle and understood why you should get up earlier, then let's tackle the other point. The second point to tackle here is, what story are you telling yourself? Now, I will bet you if you are someone that's not currently getting up earlier than the rest of your household in the morning, then there's one story that you're telling yourself, and that is, I'm just not a morning person. And I totally understand, because that is the exact story I used to tell myself. When I first heard about the miracle morning, I had young children, and my daughter was waking up at that stage maybe about 6 times a night. She actually only slept through the night when she turned 5. That was 6 months ago. So I was exhausted. And having someone tell me that I should get up earlier, I was thinking, really? Do I have to? And I just kept on thinking, I'm just not a morning person. I'm not a morning person, and it's not something that's going to work for me. But you know what? I was so convinced by the research that I thought, I'm going to give this a go, and I really haven't looked back actually. It's something that I've now totally implemented into my daily routine. So if you are telling yourself, I'm just not a morning person, ask yourself, is that true? Or is it a story you're telling yourself? Because often with those kinds of things, it's a story that you're telling yourself, and you can become a morning person. So I'm going to take another bet here. If you're someone that isn't currently getting up earlier than the rest of your household, I bet you use a snooze on your alarm. Now, I remember when I first learnt about the snooze button on my alarm. I was actually at university, and I used to snooze for a good half hour before I actually got myself out of bed. And that habit continued for years and years and years until I read Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. So there's 2 reasons why it's actually really bad to use a snooze. And the first reason for this is when you wake up and then you hit snooze, you actually often fall asleep and you start the next sleep cycle. And if you then wake up 8 or 9 minutes later, you're interrupting that sleep cycle. So you actually feel a lot tireder as a result if you keep snoozing. And the second reason why it's really bad is that you're programming your unconscious mind to tell it that you actually don't follow through on your commitments. Okay, so I've now given you some very good reasons why it's a good idea to get up earlier than the rest of your household in the morning. So what do I actually do to create this productive morning routine that's going to give me more energy? and if you implement it, to give you more energy. So I actually follow Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning Routine, and he talks about this acronym. It's a great way to remember all the things that you need to do, and the acronym is SAVERS. So I'm just going to explain what each of those things mean, and this is exactly what I do in the morning. So what he recommends is that there's 6 things to do, and you give 10 minutes to each element, which makes an hour. But he also says, and I would definitely recommend this, is that if you want, you can start off slower. So give each element 5 minutes or 2 minutes even. So what are the 6 steps? So SAVERS, the S, he talks about silence. And actually he talks about meditation or prayer as being what you would do in this 10-minute segment. In actual fact, I probably spend a little bit longer on this element because I really like meditation. So I will add a good 15 or 20 minutes of meditation to my morning. The A is affirmations. So you may have heard about affirmations. These are just statements that you say in the present tense, and they're positive statements, and they're really about helping program your unconscious mind to think more positively about life, really. V is for visualization, and that is really about visualizing yourself with a positive outcome. So whatever it is that you're focusing on in life, whether you've got a specific goal that you want to reach or anything like that, that's what you would focus on in this step, the V. The E is for exercise. Now, in the morning, I'm not really up for doing a massive exercise routine. So actually what I do is I do some stretches. Often I will do a yoga sun salutation, which just stretches all the bits of my body, but I might just do literally just a few stretches to kind of loosen me up. So that's the E. R is for reading. This is another element that I spend a little bit more than 10 minutes on, probably about 15-20 minutes on reading, and I will read any book that I'm currently reading at the moment. So this is actually the book, Miracle Morning, so highly recommend it. And then the final S, so there's 2 S's in it, but the final S is what he calls scribing, but actually he means writing, so journaling. And this is where I include my gratitude. Although Hal Elrod suggests 10 minutes for each of the elements, you can add a little or take away a little, depending on what works for your morning routine. And like I say, I spend a little bit more time on the meditation and the reading, and a little less time on each of the other elements. So I'm interested, did any of those elements resonate with you? Are they something that you already implement in your daily routine, or are they something that maybe you've been inspired to implement now that you've heard about this morning routine? Okay, so if you're now inspired to start a new morning routine, then what I recommend is that you start small and build up. So pick 1 or 2 of those that are meaningful to you and implement them into your daily routine. So it might be that you decide to wake up 15 minutes earlier and read, or you might decide to wake up 15 minutes earlier and meditate. So start with 1 or 2 of those habits and do it for a shorter amount of time, and then build up. Personally, what I did is that I started waking up half an hour earlier than I knew my children would wake up. And I started building this routine into my morning. And then over time, I've expanded it now that I wake up a full hour before my children wake up, and I do the whole Miracle Morning routine. And honestly, you will feel such amazing results from doing this. So what I've done is I've added some links below that you might find of interest that kind of back up what I'm talking about in terms of these habits and why they're important for you to implement. And also, if you're someone that is interested in maintaining and increasing your energy throughout the day, do download my guide, because that's really going to give you some great tips to help you implement that in the long run. Check out these videos next for some more tips to how to increase your energy throughout the day. If you like my channel, be sure to subscribe, click the like button, and do share it with your friends.